And I'd like to highlight 4 of the recommendations of the report. First, it is immoral for oil and gas companies to be making record profits from this energy crisis on the back of the poorest people and communities and at a massive cost to the climate. The combined profits of the largest energy companies in the first quarter of this year are close to $100 billion US. I urge all governments to tax these excessive profits and use the funds to support the most vulnerable people through these difficult times. And I urge people everywhere to send a clear message to the fossil fuel industry and their financiers that this grotesque greed is punishing the poorest and most vulnerable people while destroying our only common home, the planet. Second, all countries, and especially developed countries, must manage energy demand. Conserving energy, promoting public transport, and nature-based solutions are essential components of that. Third, we need to accelerate the transition to renewables, which in most cases are cheaper than fossil fuels. Fourth, private and multilateral finance for the green energy transition must be scaled up. Renewable energy investments need to increase by a factor of 7 to meet the net zero goal, according to the International Energy Agency. And multilateral development banks need to take more risks, help countries set up the right regulatory frameworks, and modernize their power grids and mobilize private finance at scale. And I urge shareholders in those banks to exercise their rights and to make sure that they are fit for purpose. Every country is part of this energy crisis, and all countries are paying attention to what others are doing. There is no place for hypocrisy. Developing countries don't lack reasons to invest in renewables. Many of them are living with the severe impact of the climate crisis, including storms, wildfires, floods, and droughts. What they lack are concrete, workable options. And meanwhile, developed countries are urging them to invest in renewables without providing enough social, technical, or financial support. And some of those same developed countries are introducing universal subsidies at gas stations, while others are reopening coal plants. It is difficult to justify such steps, even on a temporary basis. But if they are pursued, such policies must be strictly time-bound and targeted to ease the burden on the energy poor and the most vulnerable during the fastest possible transition to renewables.